Yeah, I wanted to turn to AI. I mean, as politicians, we worry the next election, deep fakes and all this stuff. Does Bad Wolf have a policy on using artificial intelligence in making programmes?
Bad Wolf has used some artificial intelligence, but we do it only in the area of kind of virtual and digital production. So when we are doing things digitally, that is about effects and landscapes only. It would never, ever be in relation to an artist or a piece of writing or anything like that. So we're very strict on that. And actually, even if we weren't, we would be held, our feet would be held to the fire, because the artist's agents, obviously following all the highlighting of this in the recent SAG strike and the WGA strike, our agents here are very up on all of that. So we will use AI in the way that any industry would use AI when we feel that it creates a significant benefit, but not when it is any form of replacement for anything which is creative. Yeah, we're very strong on that.
I mean, BBC guidance says that AI should never undermine the trust of audience. Is that sort of impossible to maintain?
Do you know, I mean, this is just, I am so not an expert on this subject, but I think that the word, the AI initials bring with it a kind of a sense of received fear or received mistrust. I am sure that the BBC are using AI in areas that I'm sure you guys are using it in terms of admin or things which will make life easier and more efficient for people. The BBC are not using AI in the same way that Bad Wolf are not using AI.
And you talked about the strikes and the fact AI was so central to those. I mean, partly as a result of that, they've got quite highly developed union agreements now. When you do these co-productions, which I must say, sometimes even they themselves, the weird, I don't know, something like Sex Education or Saltburn, it looks like a weird Americanized English version of a school. But anyway, you've still got Doctor Who, which is so quintessentially British. When you do these co-productions, is it the American regs that dominate, or are we exempt because it's made in the UK?
Yeah, it's the UK because of the 2003 Terms of Trade. Everything we do is run through our UK regs and contracts. We very rarely employ anyone under an American contract. We have something called a SAG waiver, for example, where we might employ American actors, but that contract is waived just for that one specific job. So we are lucky in that we can protect ourselves from that. I'm just going to say very quickly, because this is just me being interested in these things, but something like Sex Education, for example, that wasn't actually a co-pro. That was actually something that was made quite low budget to start off with. The fact that they made it look like an American high school was an artistic choice. And actually kind of pay. I don't know why I'm defending sex ed, to be clear, it's not my show, but it's interesting because what you're picking up on is an artistic choice. And 11, a very successful UK independent production company, and they shot sex ed in Wales, hurrah, although 11 aren't based in Wales. 11 made that choice because they thought it would appeal to an audience, which links to your point perhaps about, is there so much Americanization in the pieces that we do that audiences sort of expect it? I personally don't think that is right, nor do I think with the streaming services is that something we should fuss over. Audiences can make the choices that they make. But what I do think we need to do is protect the right of companies like 11 to be able to afford to make sex ed, which is not an expensive show, and it would be difficult to fund today. Obviously, sex ed has been...
At least it wasn't in Transylvania, because even a lot of these Bollywood films, they're made in Eastern Europe, but they pretend it's... They superimpose Big Ben or something in there.
Yeah.
Okay, last one from me. I mean, we've all seen the doctored royal photos this week. Just wanted to ask about post-production. When the director, James Hawes, gave evidence, he said that AI can change performances in the edit room. Would you have concerns about... I mean, I think you said you have some degree of it.
I just don't know why you would use AI to change performances in the edit room. I just wouldn't do that, because actually you can change performances in the edit room. You can tell the story in the edit room. You know, it's where the script is continuing to be written in the edit when you look at what you shot. I don't know why you would want to change performances. I think maybe one of the things James might have been talking about was his work on Andor, where there was a lot of kind of like digital effects work and maybe enhancement of people who, you know, weren't always kind of like human or whatever. And it might be he was talking about that. But I have never used AI in an edit so far.
Would you agree with the sort of having more protections like they do in America? Should we tighten those things up?
I'm not sure that we have any less protections here than we do in America. I just think that was a subject that was put under a spotlight because those unions quite properly, you know, were concerned and brought it out in terms of the, use of image or use of AI to write a script or whatever. And I kind of like, why would you do that? Why would you not want actors to create that from their human hearts and soul? And why would you not want a writer's voice to be heard? So I'm not there, but I do love a visual effect. And I do love to use a volume wall. And if AI helps me with the digital effects and volume wall, bring it on. But it stops there. It stops there.
It'd be an improvement on the old Doctor Who that looked like a toilet
roll
or whatever.
Definitely.
I preferred it when Daleks couldn't do stairs myself.
Yeah.